Hello. Is this stream is up? Does this work? Looks that way. Moin! Was geht? Was geht, Francisco? Was geht? Wieso sehe ich den Chat nicht? Das ist ja interessant. Wo ist denn dein Moin gelandet? Hey, Karen is fire. Sup, welcome. There it is. I was wondering where the chat is. Yo, sup Sam. How's it going? Let me move you folks over here. Yo, welcome to another stream. It has been a while since we've done an art stream. Man, I feel rusty. What are we going to do today? We're gonna work on this. Gonna work on this character. I especially don't put any music on, so you folks can put in your own music. It's also easier for me, so I don't get any copyright strikes with the music, and I can kind of like also hear my own music, which is kind of like cool. Yeah, if you have any questions, anything, if you just want to say hi, whatever, feel free to do so. Let's have some fun. Let's do a little bit of art. Feel free to draw along. If you have any questions or anything, you know how the game works. Just drop it in the chat. Hey, how's it going? How you doing? Okay, let me look. Let me look. Where did that went off? Da 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 da. Okay. So my plan is actually to work on the armor design for the dude. So I kind of like worked, I don't know, 30 minutes on the axe yesterday. So I want to kind of like follow the form language today and kind of like translate it on the armor. And also I'm kind of like thinking a little bit of this area here. So kind of like my idea was to make him kind of like he's basically in I don't know if you guys know the Runeterra universe. I really like the whole characters and the whole like kind of like style and everything. So I had the idea for this Noxus Gladiator, so they have these very grotesque design language. And if you look up a few designs before, it's very, very interesting. So my idea for him was actually to make him this like shield breaking gladiator. So I wanted to show bare skin, so that's why I had the idea of maybe show like naked arms, naked legs. So it's really about like purity and yeah, being like this I don't give a shit guy. But nevertheless, yesterday after like doing the design language for the X, I wanted to of course like want to follow the form language as everything's kind of like interlocking look wise. Hey Sam, how's it going? How do I get a first job when I need a 5-year experience? Well, that sounds like the job you apply for is a senior or intermediate position. Usually for junior position, they don't ask for 5 years of experience. But they, of course, like I want to say, like don't get don't get scared by that, because they when your work is good, they hire you nevertheless. So even if you only have a year of experience, even if you maybe have very little, they can potentially open positions for you. That's what they did for me, or that what's happened to me once. So, you know, so that's really like I wouldn't kind of like be super afraid of that. Just make sure that your work is good. Or just kind of like go into a conversation, reach out to them. Because you never know if they're maybe open another potential position for you. Just be good, yeah. That's a good advice. Just be good. Be good and be better. Franciscus, I haven't gave you feedback yet, I think, right? You sent me some stuff on the Discord. Sorry, man, I hadn't had time yet to reply. Was really caught into mentorship feedback and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I was not happy today when I turned on my PC and I saw that my Photoshop brushes were gone again. So then I bite the bullet and updated Photoshop. Jesus Christ, it kind of like freaked me out today. I don't get it really why they have to implement a new tool every freaking month and then there comes a new update. It's so annoying if the stuff you used to work with, kind of like also my drawing tools kind of like laggy, so I had to figure out how to fix that. Oh, so annoying. It really doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna fly away. Yeah, I will give you feedback when I have time, buddy, okay? You quit Photoshop 5 years ago? Okay, what do you use again? Procreate? Or Clip Studio? The thing is, like, the interface of Clip Studio is so ugly. And I really like to paint in Photoshop. I actually drew this guy here in Procreate on the iPad first, which was actually a cool experience. And I want to kind of like do that a bit more often because it's pretty neat if you sit on the couch or sit in the bed. You can kind of like doodle character out or an idea out. I actually also was sitting in a cafe here in Berlin, just working on this guy, but eventually I had to move him to Photoshop. Affinity Designer. I also tried Krita, but I feel like the translation from the drawing tool into the actual line is a bit laggy also. It's weird because I think for someone who's using the tool for the first time would never notice, but if you work with these tools every day, if Photoshop has a slight delay, I feel that. And it just feels weird. If he's high, yes, he's high. Obviously. What a question, Franciscus. Doesn't feel anything. Yeah, I saw Krita the first time Dave Raposa using it, and but he also has a crazy process. He already uses like 3 or 4 different programs just for sketching and drawing, right? So it's Friday. Yeah, I wanted him to look tired, you know, tired and maybe fucked up. Oh, you think you smile when you have to fight every day of your life? We don't know how that is. Hey Ruan, how's it going? welcome to the stream. How you doing, buddy? How was your Wiesn? Did you add some beer? 5 liters? What the fuck? I'm dead if I drink 5 liters of beer. Jesus, what's going on with you? Sounded like someone challenged you to drink. Holy fuckerino, 5 liters of beer, man. It was free, so I was drinking it. Yeah, me too. Me too. I would also pass out. I really don't drink. Thing is, if I go to my family to see them in Cologne, they can drink a lot, man. It's really crazy what they can drink. I hope it's okay that we don't have any music on, that you folks can put on your own music. It's just easier for me with the stream. So how do I design this little belt buckle here? Maybe a bit more curvy. Or maybe more like the chest. Maybe more like this. I thought the winner, what? A guy who drank 10 liters. Wow. But 10 liters, imagine. This is like poison for your body. You know that all that stuff needs to come out again. Your body can probably not can take easily 10 liters. I can't imagine. 10 liters of beer, wow. that was my phone. There goes my phone. I saw a video on TikTok where a guy was kind of like drink the whole mass in one go, and he had like 7 or so. Like in the beginning, it was entertaining, but then at the end, I felt very sorry for him. Below me. Take my life away, many men. Many, 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 many men. Yep, yep, yep. What brush I use? I don't know, to be honest. Just a random brush. I think it's a tilted flat brush, but very small. At the end, for me, it doesn't matter anymore. I was for the brushwork when I was like more at the beginning of the journey. I really was like, I need for this, I need this brush. For this, I need this brush. But now I'm just using, most of the times I use the hard round brush on 1 pixel, like this one. It's also what I tell the mentees and all my students, like take really 1 pixel brush and try to get really good with the 1 pixel brush. Then you can do any brush, especially when it comes to drawing. Because of course, if it's very fine line and you can kind of like control this line, then yeah, there's no struggle anymore for you. I think when it comes to painting, it's a bit different because, of course, certain brushes and certain things have a different effect, but most cases, same scenario. So what are you all working on? What are you all doing? I know what Franciscus is doing. What is the rest doing? portfolio work, or what's going on? Yeah, I mean, at the end, you have to find what really works for you, right? There are many different brushes, many possibilities. So I think it's really important you find like 2 to 3 different varieties, so it's also not getting really boring for you. But at the end, it's all very basic. It's all pretty much the same. But it's the same as what do you use for drawing, right? What program? What do you use for painting? It's really about feel and what you personally prefer and like, what feels very good for you. This is why I really liked doing the challenge of doing ink drawings in the sketchbook, because it really challenged me, but I also realized, well, if I can manage this, I can kind of like do whatever. Working on a portfolio. Noise. Oh yeah, personal stuff in between is so necessary. I absolutely support and agree. Can I be homophobic? My bitch is gay. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Yes. Hey, Boris. The sneaky one is there. How's it going? The one I like to throw off cliffs. Refer Referring to our last Baldur's Gate session, which was hilarious, by the way. It was so funny. What should we do to fight these goblins? Let's throw stuff at them. um, I don't know, how's it for the others. I don't think so much about it. I never really think about style. I just create, and kind of like whatever I just create is just that's what comes out. Um, but of course, when it's client work and it's for a certain, it has to have a certain style, then of course, then I think about that much more. But I guess for the people who are doing portfolio stuff, also, if they want to work for a certain studio, then this also becomes important. Since if you want to target a certain studio style. Sup, Boris? What do you do? What are you working on? Is portfolio still going slow? Do you need help? Also, if you need feedback, Boris, just reach out to me on the Menti area on Discord. Okay. I got you, bro. I got you. Tryna let you feel my girl. Ja, moin, Friedrich der Günstige. Das ist doch mal ein Name. Was geht, mein Bester? Was geht, ne? Wie günstig sind wir denn heute? Oh, love the preview. Image, the out of the world heavy dude has great shapes. Appreciate it. Welcome to the stream. I appreciate you and your existence. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Kind of like want to give him the gladiator six-pack armor. And below he's fat, you know? Like, I don't need to train for my six-pack. My armor is displaying a six-pack. So the stream stays on YouTube, and so you can watch it on the YouTube channel. And if you want to join the Discord, I got you. Give me a sec. Oh, it's probably expired. Invite people. Invite people. Copy this link. Let me save it. Can I have to sign into my own chat? Oh, that's weird. How can I send this stuff? I have to go my own stream. Hey Friedrich, danke für den Sub. Besser Mann. Appreciate you. Okay. Here is the link in the chat. You can press it. I think it expires in 7 days or so. No worries. Welcome to the community. So I'm basically cleaning up the sketch, kind of like trying to now put the thoughts in, the design thoughts. And yeah, I mean, for anyone who never did this process, just I quickly explain it. So what you want to do is first you want to start with your idea, or you want to kind of like do what I call napkin sketch or thumbnail sketch, like a little sketch of the idea. Imagine you sit with someone in a cafe and you have this idea for a movie and you can like pitch it. So you are drawing bunch of quick little drawings on this napkin to kind of like get the person on board to invest into your movie or game or whatever. And then you iterate. So when you iterate, of course, in between there should be a process of researching. So kind of like figuring out what is actually the visual direction you want to go. So for that, and this is why we try to look at reference after we do the first sketch, because we want to go with our own intention, our own idea before we look at too many things, because these reference also influence the general outcome. Yeah, and then we can like go in and then draw a version, probably adjust, draw another version, adjust again. And as it is in production, in games or movies or wherever, as long as you have time and as long the deadline gives you the space and the money also gives you the possibility to iterate, you iterate. And usually you have someone who's kind of like pinpointing and overlooks. So you have producers, you have art directors, art leads, all these wonderful people who kind of like pull all on one rope to create this beautiful product, whatever it is. Yeah. And also depending on what the game is and what it is for that you create, sometimes it is a concept which gets tossed over to a 3D artist, and the 3D artist is basically building what you draw. But for this is absolutely crucial, necessary that you communicate everything clearly. Because what you don't want is that the 3D artist comes to your desk all the time and kind of like asks, okay, what is this? What is the meaning of this? Where is this line going? I don't understand. So the 3D artist will get pissed probably, and we don't want to make the life hard of the 3D artist. Sometimes it's just for iteration, sometimes it's blue sky phase, but sometimes also for marketing art. So depending on where the production is in the moment, there you kind of like create these assets. And if it's for marketing, it has to be more polished. So it's kind of like get used for whatever, any type of art books or covers or whatnot. So this is then, of course, you have to spend a bit more time. Also, in the companies I worked, usually we had the really good illustrators who were mainly their function was basically to do all the marketing art. So everything what was kind of like get on the game cover or in-game art. Sometimes you have some animatic where a character kind of like slides in and stuff. So all that stuff. But it really depends. Again, it depends on the production value and everything. But if you never tried doing characters and you kind of like do environments, or you feel like it's too hard, really break it down because it's really a long process. It's something you continuously have to work on. Even the really good character designers, they are continuously working on their craft. They're working on their anatomy. They're kind of like working on their shapes. Everything kind of like interlocks and comes together. So it is really a long process on getting there. But I think if you have a idea or if you have something which is kind of like inspires you, something that makes you to create, that's very important, and it's kind of like the driving force. Do you ever use gradient maps to color? I never get it right. Yes, sometimes. So if I do kind of like cloth, for example, and I want to make it a bit more interesting, or I do skin tones and I want to give it a kind of like a different kind of look, you know, I use gradient maps. I would say when it comes to colors, really try to use a color wheel and then take colors which aren't, take not too many colors, I would say. Because if you add too many colors and it gets too big of a mix, then of course it will be really, really hard to have a good outcome. So I constantly have to look at this X because I kind of like want to see my direction, that I don't lose the sight of that. Okay, okay. Welcome all the new people to the stream. Hope you're all doing well. If you old subscribers, new subscribers, whatnot, welcome. You're all welcome. You're all doing good. And as you also maybe kind of like feel it's summer is kind of like going to an end, at least here in Berlin. So that means our streams will become more regular again. Yes, yes, yes. We will have more regular streams. And these streams are really just on like that we kind of like. I feel like sometimes if we don't stream, then I feel the community is sometimes a bit too. I don't want to say dislocated because it sounds broken, but like I like that everyone is kind of like interacting. So, and I find that very, very important and necessary for our community. So I'm happy that we're going to back to weekly streams now. Yep, 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 yep. Been sub for a while, only milling around cause been busy, but I'm getting into art stuff now. A lot of other things fired up the game, dev, writing stuff. Nice! Sounds good. Hey Nando, how's it going? Welcome to stream. How are you doing? Do you think it's completely fine to mainly just do environments? Yes, of course, my friend. Absolutely. I love environments. I love doing environments in production because it's kind of like my comfort zone, and I feel even if I have a tight deadline in production, I'm confident enough that I can experiment and try things out. And sometimes I love the happy accidents on environments. So, because when I do characters, I have to think at most of the points I have to think much more than I do environments because I just did more environments in production. But yeah, I'm still kind of like I'm still have to work on it. So getting better with it. So my ideas come more fluent. Hey Aris, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. How you doing? Yes, I've seen Kim Young-ji in real life. I will never forget. I will never forget the days I had with him. Also, I visit the studio this year. The Super Annie studio. I actually have video footage of it. I wanted to make. I actually have. I actually have a Korea vlog on my laptop here, laying around, which I haven't finished for the YouTube channel. So if you all are very mad with me and yell at me, maybe I can finish it. But it's really hard because I recorded basically everything, like the whole trip, and it's kind of like I'm not so into making vlogs, so it takes more time to make a solid piece of video content here. But it was an amazing time in Korea. And again, I also visit the Studio Annie studio, which was really an honor, I want to say. I visit the work desk of Kim Young-ji, and I saw everything, and it was really amazing. So I would love to share that with all of you, but I actually just have to finish the video edit. Sorry, I have to read your name. Cerberus, hey, welcome to stream. Long time lurker here. How's it going? Curious how you hold your weapon. Weapon. I read weapon pen. How do you hold your Wacom pen when working? I've got a new pen and the grip is different. I'm struggling to find the most comfortable position. I think I like this. I also don't use the buttons. I never use the buttons. So I disable the buttons. I also disable the buttons on my Wacoms. So I'm basically just using the pen. And I think it's more like this, you know, it's almost upright because it's easier to make straight lines then. Because I come from industrial design and we kind of like use the elbow to draw. So yeah. Yeah, rest in peace, Kim Young-ji. Yeah, it was amazing to meet him. I don't know if you have seen the, some of you have seen the THU videos on my channel. I met him there. I also trolled him, which was a memory I will never forget, and I'm actually so happy that I trolled him because I will like this memory is kind of like inside of my head forever. Like looking at his face when I told him like I drew on his drawing at last night when everyone was asleep, and he was looking at me like, "Are you crazy? Are you insane?" And in Korean, he said like, "Who would do that to someone?" But of course, I didn't. I just trolled him. But yeah, this memory live forever. And welcome everyone else who just joined. Everyone who's new, you're all welcome. Yeah, again, there's no music on the stream today, so that you can all put in your own music. So you can like just hear my weird voice talking. So it's also easier for me. I don't get copyright strikes if I put on my trap music. Yeah, it lives rent-free in my head forever. Yeah, and when I was in Korea, I met Yoonjin again. So the founder of Super Annie. We also went for lunch. He invited us for lunch. It was it was just amazing time. Really want to go back to Korea. It was really cool. Also, I met my friend Liam, and I also met Danny. Dongho was actually super busy, so it was a bit unfortunate that he couldn't make it. But that's how it is as a professional artist. It's not easy. What drawing tablet are you using? I'm using a Wacom Intuos 4. It's an old one where you don't look on. I think I don't know what's the price for them at the moment. If they're still that expensive. It's a very old one. I have this since I started my concept art journey in 2014. So almost 10 years. I think you could like crack open a door with this because this stuff is built so solid. I guess you know what? Sometimes I'm thinking like maybe Wacom really wanted to make a solid product, but they kind of like never heard of the strategy of Apple, that Apple products kind of like you have to like buy new Apple products every 2 to 3 years. So I wonder if they kind of like regret making such a solid product, because like I think if we all die, these Wacom Cintiq or Wacom tablets will lay everywhere. I kind of like see a beach full of we're all dead, you know. It's on a graveyard, like, and then there are all these tablets sticking into the ground. Okay, let's lower a little bit. Oh no, actually push it. How does it look? Looky look. So I have a little bit of trouble design-wise because I was going for something a bit more round shape. So let's talk a little bit about shape design quickly for the people who are interested in that. So I mean, my mentees already know all that stuff because I'm kind of like buttering this into their brain that they learn this. So when you want to design something with a shape, it's always good to draw the shape first you want to use for designing. How can we make shapes? We have two options. So either, and I'm giving this here now for free, either we create base shapes. So these base shapes here, and we can combine these through either subtraction or addition, right? So we can kind of like, let's say we want to take 50% of a square and 50% of a circle, right? And we add this. So we just kind of like put them together and we have this shape. We can also subtract, of course, right? We can take a square and we kind of like cut into the square with a round shape. The benefit of this method is we can be very exact and our shapes can turn out very well, actually, because we stay with the base shapes. Of course, the downside of it slows you down a little bit, but that's not a problem because if you do that more often, you get really used to that. The other option to create shapes is to use CSI. You probably also heard of it from using this for doing gesture drawings, right? Basically, C-curve line, straight curve line, and S-curve lines. So how can we create shapes with this? Well, we can say we create a shape using only a C-curve line and a straight line. So the good thing is we are very quick with this. The other thing is, the bad thing, we can also fuck up the shape very quick because we see when a shape looks shitty, right? Not every shape we create looks good. So if we kind of like wobbly in the shape here and it looks like this looks much better than this, right? Because it has more clarity. Clarity is absolutely crucial when it comes to shapes. It's absolutely important. Mucho importante. It's really important that we have clarity. If we don't have clarity, people will not understand our shapes. And even if someone is not an artist, this person has to understand the shape. This is really the goal of that. So we need balance, right? Balance, and we need composition. So we have to compose that. So again, back to my drawing here. I went for something which is a bit more kind of like a sharp triangle shape here, like kind of like these flowy shapes. But now I have something which is a little bit more blocky. So when it comes to his armor. So I don't want to mix shapes too much. I don't want to mix that, right? So we'll kind of like want to make sure that everything is kind of like consistent. So this is why it's always good if you have one main shape and you try to use it over the whole design. How to get in drawing and design community without studying. Friedrich, can you elaborate on your question? I don't really get it. What do you mean? How to get in a drawing and design community without studying? What do you mean with get in? What tablet I used, I said already. Hey Aaron, how's it going? What's up? How you doing, buddy? How the comic stuff going? Did you met Karl Kopinski too? No, I did not. But I met Terada. Terada is really funny and very, very humble. I met him for the first time actually. I saw his art, but I didn't really know the person, so that was very, very funny. I really enjoyed meeting him, and I hope I can meet him again. Terada, if you see that, reach out to me. Uh, RJQ welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Lol. Yeah, Wacom tablet is basically a Nokia. Yeah, that's true. Hey Darko, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Thank you so much. Yeah, of course. I mean, not everyone is kind of like this art kid in class, right? Where everyone knows, okay, this person will end up being an artist. I probably was meant to be one, but I was a sturdy little motherfucker. Excuse my language. I was probably not. If someone would say you will make millions, I mean that sounds wrong. I didn't do any millions. Don't get me wrong, but if someone would say like you will be so happy and so yeah, you will be so happy when you go the path of becoming an artist, I would probably don't listen to that person. Teenagers, teenagers. I think a environment can really enhance the learning speed, but where to meet creative people? Okay. So how did I do that? So I mean, the thing is, these days there are a lot of options, but also you have to figure out for yourself how you work and perform the best. So, for example, how do you learn and in what environment do you kind of like grow the most? Because I give you an example. I decided to study industrial design, and I was hoping that the environment and the people around me would kind of like push me and be all like really good, really really good draftsmen, and would be all very good at drawing and everything, and that we would have tons of art drawing classes in school and whatnot. But it kind of wasn't the case. It was actually the opposite. So we had a lot of workshop building things in product design and stuff. So it was really annoying because I just wanted to draw all the time, and I feel like I was the one of the only person who actually wanted to do that, and we were like 40 students. So, but also kind of like I also got really inspired and also got motivated by my fellow students because they were kind of like they digged other things. They liked product design, they liked aesthetic, transportation design. So I had a friend in college who was so into transportation design. It was really crazy, but it also kind of like fascinates me on a positive side. It made me like, wow, I really love it how he really digs into transportation design, and I never thought about that. So that was really, really cool to see, and it kind of like also motivates me to let myself go more into concept art because after class I always was doing all the concept art stuff, right? So that really like pushed me. Also in school we had to do tons of research to make a good product design. You have to do like find problems to solve first and to research the market and everything. So this kind of like research and these kind of like processes also help me to get different approaches also for my own ideas and IPs and stuff. So that was also good. But to really find people who are kind of like interested in the same as you, go to events, go to concept art events. That's always a good thing. And I think you don't with the internet you don't necessarily need to be around like close, like being in the same city. So you can kind of like meet in London, let's say, and then being connected online. The mentees on in the mentorship area on the Discord, they are kind of like still connected with each other, and they kind of like call with each other, and then they kind of like help, which is really cool because that's kind of like what's that for, right? I also went to live drawing sessions. So in Berlin, we had this called Drink and Draw back in, I mean, we still have it, but back in 2014, I think. And I made a lot of friends there. And there were parties after the drawing sessions where you met new people and stuff. So I really, really made a lot of good friends there. And I met really great people, great artists. So it was really a blast for me. I would never regret that, doing that. And I would say every person I met kind of like shaped me in terms of a little bit as a person, but more as an artist, because everyone was kind of like very influential, and like everyone wanted to be a great artist. Everyone wanted to like worked so hard on them. I met so many hardworking artists. Um, it's just, yeah, it's just amazing. So many people were so like crazy about art, and sometimes in your life you need that, especially when you're kind of like in this hustle mode. You really need that. I remember when I met the Adrian Wilkins for the first time. Man, I saw his art, and then I went to Drink and Draw, and this guy, he was so funny and so nice, and he always took time to give me feedback and everything. Such a nice guy, but his art was even crazy. It was, wow, it was like so good. I met Murat Albakov, who's also a really good friend of mine, uh, which I will never forget how I met him. We were on a party uh, at a friend of us who had like a house party in Berlin, and there was like two chairs, and we kind of like sit next to each other. I didn't know him, and the friend of us, Marcus, he said, "Yeah, you should meet Murat. He's really like you." And I was sitting down on his chair, and there was like a chair next to me, and I just lay back and turned my head like this, and then the guy on the other chair was doing exact same thing and looked at me like this, like we will fall in love. But it was so funny at that moment, and it was actually how I met Murat. Oh, that was yeah. Murat really became a really good friend. He's also an amazing artist. So they all kind of like made their own careers, and everyone worked really really hard, and I respect everyone. So yeah, I kind of like elaborate a bit too much on your question. I think I hope there was kind of like there was something useful in there, buddy. But yeah, just look for opportunities, or maybe to go to concept art events. They can really be helpful. Bub, bub, bub. I went from prize-winning wonderkin to not grabbing a pen for 15 years. I'm restarting everything. Yeah, sometimes it is like this, right? I was denied for an integrated design class, so I have to try next year, and I know I don't really meet creative people cause of this gap. Hmm. You know, the art zone community is always there for you if you kind of like need interaction. And if you feel like you need real people in like face to face, I would say like go to events, go to really like live drawing events. Sometimes I know sometimes it's tough because you go to live drawing and then everyone's kind of like artists can be really, how you say, introverted, right? So people just go there, do their thing, and then they leave. So that can be really tough. But yeah, sometimes you have to make the first step, you know? And technically, you only need one person to hype you up, right? One person every day. You're like, hey, you want to draw? Yes, I want to draw. Woo, let's draw. Then that's everything. Some people they don't even have this person and they still make it. So, but I understand where your question is coming from, because it's really good to have the interaction. Sometimes just to have a feedback, to have a second opinion, whatever it is, right? Same here. Was bartender at the pandemic. Probably wouldn't have gone back to art. Decided to making on last year's. See, that's good. So let's save this actually before I forget. Shaving. Let's flip it. Yeah. As long as you come back to art, I think then you're fine. Oh, what's up with the back eye? Haven't seen that. See, good to flip your image. Let's make the pupil a bit bigger also. Looks like super small. Hi, glad to see you, Andre. Likewise. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. How you doing? How you doing, Andre? How you doing? How's it going? Why are you sorry? Welcome to the stream. Don't be sorry. Are you going to color this thick boy? Yes, but I don't know when. First, we have to make the lines and everything good. The design needs to be be there first. Because coloring, you know, coloring is the reward, Aaron. It's the reward. It's kind of like eating all the icing before you had the rest of the cake. I know myself. If I jump too quick into colors, I will not be so conscious about the design. Aaron, did we talk about our next call already? I'm not aware. If not, let me know. If you want to have a call this month, by the way. By the way, everyone, go check out Aaron. He's a really good comic book artist. He does comic book covers. He's working hard for the money. So hard for the money. Oh, I don't like the nose. Needs a bit more character. Oh, I forgot how much fun this is. It's also so weird since I'm a full-time teacher. really miss production work at sometimes. I get loyalty. Okay, just let me know. Boris, you want to have a call? You need feedback? Or is it just, do you just miss me? Just want to talk? Just want to play Baldur's Gate with me, huh? Or do you need feedback? I mean, that's really like, if you really need feedback or so, yeah, then uh, hit me up on Discord and we can make a call. Hit me up on Discord, we make a call. Probably not this month, but in October then. Also curious to see how far your portfolio is, to be honest. Bum bum bum. You miss me so much, yeah. I knew it. I knew it. Appreciate it, Aaron. I appreciate it. Appreciate you and your existence, my friend. Yes, I do freelance, but not very much. Sorry, Cerberus, I have to go closer because the text is super far away. I got really nostalgic the other day thinking about how me and my buddy at college hang out, sketch together on concept art forums. Yeah, I mean those times with these concept art forums was really legendary, right? Like everyone knew that everyone would kind of like post what they kind of like studied the day, and like some people really hyped them up. So unfortunately, I joined the party very late, so the forum was already like dying when I joined. But I also joined Crimson Daggers. I don't know if you folks maybe remember this one. And like a lot of people were still very active on Crimson Daggers. And first I posted and kind of like barely someone reacted, but then after 2 or 3 posts, people really like reacted, and that really motivated me, to be honest. So yeah. Oh yeah, Boris just annoyed that I didn't bought him a Döner. Oh man, Boris, I'm sorry. You didn't get your Döner when you came to Berlin. I mean, you also have good food in the Netherlands. There's a great Thai in Amsterdam I can recommend. Do you know the side street when you go from the central station to the left? When you go, there's a street where Stussy is and all the other clothing brand shops. There's a Thai, I think it's called Flying Bird or Birdie, something with bird. It's really good. Get this, it's much better than kebab. Mm, 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 mm. Know the game freelance? Freelancer? Yeah, Friedrich, I know the game. I played the game. I really loved Freelancer. Actually, I was looking forward to Starfield because I thought it maybe becomes a newer version of Freelancer. I haven't tried it yet. I saw many reviews which weren't really good, unfortunately, but it's still on my list. But yeah, I love the game Freelancer. Especially back then when I realized you could also play it online, like multiplayer. That was really freaking cool with all the ships and like, did you kind of like come where and then you kind of like get attacked by pirates and building your own ship and stuff. That was really cool. Up, up, Yeah, I know there's a really good. What in Schiedam? Where's Schiedam? Schiedam is in Amsterdam? Ah, yeah, okay, got you. Have to go to leg day. Oh, yes, Francisco. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Yeah, buddy. Lightweight. Don't break the machines, Franciscos, okay? Hey, but Aaron, yes, I played Call of Duty. I actually played. I mean, that's how you realize that you're old, right? I played the first Call of Duties, so but they were pretty sick. I remember when they came out. I even played Battlefield 1948, I think was it? When you can kind of like drive with a jeep into things and the jeep would explode, kind of like kamikaze with planes and stuff. So let's do a bit of lag anatomy here. So again, I kind of like imagine like him having these huge, thick as quads, almost like super supernatural. Supernatural? Do you say it like this? Just like crazy, okay. Just crazy. You play every day? This is the reason why these covers are always late. I knew it, Aaron. Yeah, I didn't have so much time working on a cover. Actually, rank 2 in Call of Duty. This guy. You just told me a secret, Aaron. Not good. Not good. Yeah, yeah. I think I have to get it. You know, like the new one. I didn't play Call of Duty for years. Isn't there like probably since the time I played, there's probably like 10 different versions of it. Da, 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 da. Uh, Emulators. So do you play like Nintendo emulators and stuff? Old man Boris, behave. How much do you factor in choosing shape language when designing the anatomy? That's a really good question. I think unconsciously I do if someone is supposed to be a very sturdy and thick character. I also want to I also want to go for something more sturdy design-wise in terms of shape, right? So something more like cubic or grotesque. Nevertheless, I think it it really comes down to what is the character I have in mind. Because I personally like to make also more elongated characters, right? Or even elongated designs. So even making a character with like heads which are super long, for example, or like longer shapes, kind of like pushed and pulled long shapes. But I think that would technically also work on a character with a normal, regular anatomy, you know, versus someone who is also a little bit more elongated. The question is how strong is the contrast there, and how much does it help to support my design? Because what's really important, whatever you create, it's always about communication. what do you want to communicate, right? And what it's necessary to communicate. If you want to communicate a design, what helps to communicate that design? I think often people forget like how important actually the part of communication is in there, right? Because as a designer, as a concept artist, your job is to solve problems and to communicate these, kind of like the solutions. So in games and movies, we often have only a few seconds left. If you watch a movie, the frame is there for 2 seconds. So you see a frame and like, okay, that's evil, that's good, that's bad, that's huge. So how do we do that? Through scale. So I think I kind of like make my decisions there. I really kind of like ask myself, okay, is it really helping the idea I have? Is it supporting the idea I have? I think this is also the reason why we had the tendency, especially in concept art, also environments a lot. We had a tendency that a lot of concepts, movies, they were bigger and bigger in scale. Like I felt that they kind of like that the designers also in production, they kind of like pushed these ideas more and more and more. So through different movies where you see like, okay, they really scaled up the spaceships. They make them really like over the top big. Or if you compare the first Avatar with the last Avatar, everything got even crazier in a way, to a point where it wasn't really that exciting anymore for people, because it was crazy and it was over the top. But I think if it gets too much that people cannot really scope it anymore, then it becomes really difficult, because again, it's about communication, right? What do you want to communicate? And it doesn't really necessarily comes down to design. It also comes to if you're an illustrator and if you want to paint a beautiful scene and you want to show a love story, or you want to show, I don't know, a fight, a transaction, whatever it is you want to communicate. I hope that kind of like answers your question. I know I went a bit off in terms of direction. So let me get in these shapes here. So sometimes when I do my sketches, I don't want to say I get lazy, but I'm kind of like I leave stuff out like this for like turning form, for example, where I would be super strict with my students. But I know I have to bring it in eventually when I do the final drawing, because everything is kind of like turning in space. What is a good practice actually if you want to get good with characters in general, or if you want to have a good character routine? What I can recommend, if what my good friend Murat Albakov recommended me years ago, uh, kind of like set yourself a timer for 1 to 2 hours and give yourself a time really to design in your head the idea for the character. So what is it? What is the archetype you want to design? So let's say it's a warrior, or it's a mage, or someone who's kind of like filthy and more like thief type. What is it that you want to design? Like construct it in your head, and also construct the pose that kind of like fits to the character. And then try to design it in the second part of the hour. And focus really on the necessary. Focus on what is important that needs to be communicated. That's a great practice to make thumbnails, great practice to really get into to get stuff out. Ba, 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 ba. I'm so old, I remember my first CD-ROM. Yeah, do you remember these big computer boxes you get when you bought a game? That these A4 size boxes, cardboard stuff you put in your shelf. If you had this and you can still smell it, then you're old. How many kids are going to have? What? How many kids are going to have? 6, right? I don't get it, bro. What's up with kids? How long did it take you to get comfortable with anatomy? Mm, hmm. You shoot the good questions here. I would say, what means comfortable, right? I think there's never really it's a little bit like playing golf, and I'm just saying it because I play golf. It's a little bit like playing golf with anatomy. So every time you think you got it, you're wrong. So you kind of like realize, oh, I fucked it up again. So I think there's of course a base level of understanding for anatomy that you can shoot for, and that's important. But I think what's more important than anatomy is actually perspective, kind of like the form of it and the proportion. The correlation of proportion and behavior in 3D space is really important. If you get this, the anatomy itself almost gets secondary. But I think it's always I always try to push my anatomy, always try to see, okay, what can I improve? What can I do better? Because there's always something you can improve for everyone. And even you try to, today I try to do someone who's super muscular and super over the top, right? But maybe next time I want to do someone who's super frail, almost like the person would break when you touch them. So, but then you have kind of like, okay, how do I do them less fleshy with more bones coming out? How can I communicate this? So, yeah. I think to get to a point where I can really get everything, I would say it took me at least good 4 years of practicing. And for me, the most I learned was trying to draw anatomy from imagination without reference. I went to so many life drawing sessions, and I don't want to undersell life drawing because life drawing is still a good essential thing. But nevertheless, I never really learned so much at life drawing. It was good, it was challenging, and I liked the thrill and I liked the environment and everything. But nevertheless, I learned the most while drawing figures out of my head or scenarios out of my head, you know? And the best way is really to do box figures, right? I took once a really good class with Gu Yang. By the way, Gu is also an amazing guy. I really love this guy. But nevertheless, I took a character design class with Gu Yang, and he gave a lot of good feedback, and he's a really good teacher. But for me, he gave me one really good tip, which was really focusing on my perspective and kind of like downgrading my thoughts on anatomy itself. And that made me realize, he really helped me to come to the realization, I don't need to focus so much on all the anatomy and muscle because I was thinking about everything. But what I really need to learn is this here, the three dimensionality, and how is anatomy and like all these forms moving in 3D space. That's really the important part. This is what you need to get right. Because if you get that right, you can do mistakes in the anatomy, and people will not technically downgrade the result, if you can call it like this. So even Kim Young-ji said that he is the master of covering mistakes because he said in his live demonstration he did tons of mistakes, which is probably true, but we just didn't saw them, or we saw them, but maybe we said, you know what, the rest looks amazing, or it looks good in perspective. We still take it, you know. So this is really important here. Drawing stuff from imagination, kind of like, okay, go outside, you see something happening on the street, try to reproduce it on the paper, and draw figures from imagination. Because again, and this is also why my students all have to do that, we train imagination in every session. Every month they're in the program, they have to train their imagination. Because people do not train their imagination enough. Kind of like everyone is so focused on drawing perfect from reference, drawing perfect, kind of like copying stuff, whatever. But this is really crucial. Yeah? I hope this kind of like answers your question. So get good at this. You played golf today? Nice. Nice. Where do you play, Friedrich? What's your handicap? Just started playing regular last year with my friends. Okay, let me get back to this. Where is the X actually? Oh, there it is. Okay. You being sarcastic about having ton of kids? Dude, I have so much respect for you, okay? Would you blow your game cartridges? Do you mean like throwing them away? I actually did, because they were kind of like empty back then. Speaking of anatomy, where do you stand of being able to identify the names of all the different muscles? Do you think it's essential knowledge to be a good character artist? No, I don't think so. I think it's good. It's good if you can. But the big question is what? What would be why would you need it? Right? That's really the big question. What is the purpose of knowing all this? I think the most names of muscles I know because when I started lifting weight, I got really interested in reading anatomy books to understand how can I get stronger? How can I get bigger chest muscles, pecs, pectoralis major? How do I get a bigger traps and all that? I think that's the first really big reason why I knew all that. And then it was kind of like handy for learning anatomy. But yeah, I don't think that's really necessary. And you will not go into a job interview where someone is asking you that. Can you say what that muscle is? This is not a steroclaudus major. You're fired. Imagine that. Imagine you come to work and then they kind of like test you. Oh, you're also a beginner. Nice. So we two beginners. I also just started. Nice. The only anatomy you need is lats. Yep, that's true, Boris. Lats and splits, right? And we're not talking about banana splits here. Wow, you guys, so much text. After I stopped forcing myself to draw perfectly every time, even doodles I allowed mistaken to happen to carry regardless, I made so much quicker progress and embrace the failure. That's good. You mean like blow the cartridges to make them work? Yes, of course. And then you can kind of like smell the dust. That's part of the experience. So many amazing illustration books, both bodies. Yes, I agree. Uh, hey, Serena, how's it going? Serena Stefan, welcome to the stream. Greetings back to Romania. I look forward to having your insight in background as I start sketching myself. Cool. Happy to have you. Welcome. Anatomy is really nice to know. I know some biggest level ups where I got put together, where pecs, shoulders, muscles, and bones generally. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's good to know. It's really good to know. The important part is really connectors and everything. How is everything kind of like coming together? But anatomy is really a nutshell. So sometimes you think you know it, and the next day is like, what am I drawing? What is going on? You know. So, and even if you did tons of studies of hands and drawing hands, you maybe struggle today. So you never know. Running, running, running. I am listening to the artist. I don't know how many people of you like using Spotify. Probably a lot. So I'm recently listening a lot to artist radio. So there's the possibility of artist radio, and I'm listening to 21 Savage, and I don't know, it's just so good at the moment. So many good tracks in there. You read my family name right? Yeah, that's one of my skills. I can read family names pretty good. Years of practice reading names on stream. This hand looks not right. So I have a question to all of you. Time-wise for streams. So today we started the stream my time at 4, I think. Is it? No, it's 4:30. How is the time for you folks? That I kind of like want to find a time where everyone is kind of like available. Is the time okay? Is later better? Is earlier better? I'm pretty open to feedback when it comes to the streams because yes, we will have more of them now. And we can be all right. Silence for the record. When you load it down before. Popo for sure. We gonna be all right. Do you hear me? Do you feel me? We'll be all right. It's so you 1 hour behind. Okay. East Coast US. So the time was perfect. Great. I think the time works for me today because I'm nice. It's 7 in the evening. Sweet. Time is perfect. All right. All right. So we got our time. That went smooth. I like that. I like that. It looks like a heart shape. Oh yeah, he just want to be loved, you know. That's like his backstory. He just want to get a hug, you know. But everyone makes him fight. Hey, Defiance Man, I didn't know you were lurking. Welcome to the stream. Happy to have you. And sweet. Great, it's time is perfect for you. Yeah, I want to kind of like mimic the shape of the axe, you know? That we at least a bit more consistent there. I wonder if it's too unrealistic if I make these like this. It looks a bit weird, I think. Also, it grabs too much attention if I make this helmet. I don't know how that would supposed to look like this. Great, so we have our time. Appreciate you all. Thanks for all the input. So basically what I'm doing now is again just doing the design, but I also slowly kind of like increase the white layer I have here over my sketch, right? So the more I add, the more I increase it until it's 100%. So at the end that we have a clean line art. And why a clean line art? Quick quiz question to everyone. Yes, because 3D people needs to have clarity. Or also, if we not give it to a 3D artist, we need clarity. Clarity is very, very important. So whatever we do with this, everything is clear because every line has to go somewhere. So we don't want any jiggle, scratchy lines or anything. If something is indicated, then it should be so indicated that we at least can work with it and understand it. Yes, and then you can post the lines also on Instagram and you get more likes. Absolutely. You know the game. You know the game. I would say having good line art, and it's not only for characters, also for environments, is a really, really essential skill, which often get overlooked. Because if you're really good with this, you can also be super quick. And you can communicate really a lot with lines. And yeah, I think all my art directors I had in my life so far, they all really liked lines and line work. Because you can't hide stuff, right? If you do a quick value painting, you can kind of like get away with stuff. Also, a little trick, if you have trouble with straight lines, I know there's many ways in Photoshop to make straight lines, right? You can hold on Shift. You can kind of like make a dot, hold Shift and click, but then you can maybe have these things. But what I often used in, and we had a really fun encounter in production. So we were doing these thumbnail drawings for environments, right? So kind of like this stuff here, these kind of like little frames, and then you would kind of like draw basically the whole scene with lines and stuff. So I was doing a ton of this, and my colleague Konstantin, shout out to Konstantin, I really miss him. He came over and was like, "Well, how long do you need for these thumbnails?" And I don't even know what my answer was. I was like, "Well, I don't know. I think I can do like 4 or 6 a day or something." And he's like, "Wow, that's really fast." And he was like just watching me, and I was actually using the line tool for making straight lines because if you use it, the line tool, put it on Pixel, you can kind of like make straight lines, right? And he was like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "That's the line tool, bro." And he's like, "You can do that?" It completely blew his mind. He was kind of like doing the straight lines, like really like turning the canvas all the time, like this. Like, what the frickin'? You can do this? I think this will be our running gag, our personal running gag forever. That was so funny. I wonder if I should give him a suspensorium. What is that actually in English? Friedrich, you know what that is in English? Suspensorium? Rulers? Hey, that's so funny because I never use rulers. I learned really doing straight lines from the elbow. But for this, definitely you have to have here the completely upright pen and then doing like straight lines. I don't know if I can still make the perfect circle. Probably not. It's also a bit different here with the Wacom Cintiq. But it's a good practice. Okay, also, okay. I lost. Okay, also. Okay, also. Take was mine and take some more. Okay, also. Suspensory? I don't know if that's the word. Okay, I will Google it later. I'm just too lazy to switch now. How do you feel here, guys, if I am Russian? Why should... Not different. Everyone is welcome here. This is a neutral zone here. And anyone who says something different, I say goodbye. I only want positivity here. Sounds maybe a bit naive, but Cod piece? Thanks, Felix. And welcome to the stream. Cod piece? Isn't cod fish? But that would be kind of funny, to be honest. Does it really call like this? No, you just want me to Google it, right? Okay, you know what? I will Google it. Suspensorium? Sorium? Sorium, English. A jockstrap. Google says it's a jockstrap, whatever that means. Ein Suspensorium, Plural. Die Suspensorien. Sportbandagen zum Schutz der männlichen Genitalien. Very important. So now I have another problem here with the design. So I want to give him blank legs, but the thing is, the laziest possibility is to just give him pants. But I wonder if he appears less brutal if I give him pants. No, I want to give him the gladiator vibe. But then, of course, I need to find a solution for his connectors. Wieder was gelernt. I was like, what the fuck? Nah, your face is alright. Don't tell anyone else to anyone. So how do I connect this boy? I don't want to give him pants. What could be a good solution? Can we do it like this maybe? I mean, that could look cool. Could be a nice shape as well. Maybe like this, that he's like half some sort of like leather cloth here. So we have some soft tissue below the metal. And then he maybe needs some sort of like supporting strap, obviously. So we can even like push the silhouette here a bit. That could be cool. Give him a skirt. No. I don't want to confuse people. Okay, I know, Boris, you would like to have tight pants. I know it. And also, I'm sorry I didn't give him a big lat. Tight armor? I've seen it on Darius. Darius? Darius Riot Games. Images. Ah, okay. Wow, I really like how the design of Darius is. He's also Noxus, right? So that's kind of like explains it. That's really the direction I wanted to go. Thanks for the input. Thanks for the input. But also Darius has like pants on, right? He has pants on. Then he has armor on top. Okay. But okay, cool. Yeah, okay. That's good. Appreciate you. Thai tattoos? Yeah, I mean tattoos. I like tattoos, but stuff like tattoos comes really to an end. Also, I want to make like that. This is from Noxus. Do the Noxus people have actually tattoos? Runeterra, Runeterra, Runeterra. There's this lore page of Runeterra, right? Runeterra, 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 lore map. Noxus. Military society. Most elite respected battle-handed military force, Noxian Empire Legion. Led by Darius. They are not only the best soldiers in Noxus, but they are most loyalty are devoted to leaders. Hammered into breastplates representing Trifex, principle, strength. Wow, these concepts. Jesus. I love the designs. Okay, but they definitely have this kind of like gladiator vibe. Cool, yeah, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah, I don't want it to give him the skirt, because then we kind of like have to do some here, you know. I mean, it could work, but I feel like I have seen that before. So let me do this first, yeah. Gotcha. Okay, too late. Well, I'm sorry. Sorry, so sorry. Yeah, no. Sorry, so I also quiet down. I was like so much in my head right now. In there, quieting down. I think we don't need this. Go back and give him the big quads again. Sorry if I'm too quiet, folks. I'm just wanna get this lineup done, at least on stream. But if you have questions, anything, let me know. I will answer everything. By the way, anyone who's interested in the Art Zone mentorship, we have some spots open for October. Just go on the website and book your slot if you're interested. Let's flip it. Do your thinking. Do your thinking. I put some cozy music to your birds and rain. Then that's nice. Yeah, this is why I also didn't put any music on, so you folks can listen to your own stuff individually. I know it's so hard sometimes to find the general mid, the general middle for everyone. Also, it's like there's really no good license-free music, to be honest. So I can listen to my stuff, don't get copyright strikes, and you folks can listen to your stuff. But I'm also getting hungry. Getting hungry. Didn't have dinner yet. Any dinner recommendations or ideas? I think I still have chicken in my fridge, but I need to cook it. I find it so cool that Francisco's actually left to go for leg day. Actually, I also want to go to the gym, but I need to eat. Once I'm done with college and get a job, I will totally apply for the mentorship. Yes, you're welcome. Do that. Do that. Get the protein. Chicken calls for schnitzel. Or Korean fried chicken. I had Korean yesterday actually. But that's a good call, Boris. Oh, Boris, I had the best Korean fried chicken in Korea. Uh, I was in Han Park, so at the Han River. There's like this park area, and in Korea, it's so fascinating. People are so looking out for everything. So I went to the park, and the park was freaking clean, and everyone kind of like cleaned their stuff behind them. So I am as a Berlin kid. I'm not used to that people are so like taking care of their stuff, because in Berlin it's not the case. But there everyone was kind of like putting their trash away and kind of like even taking care that the right thing goes in plastic, etc., etc. But also not only the park was super clean, but also like no one was kind of like doing too much noise. Everyone was like so calm. And then they had basically you could kind of like borrow these blankets next to the river. So you pay like, I don't know, €2 or so, get the blanket. And then you can also sit there and there are food trucks. So you can get basically whatever you want. And I got a bucket of fried Korean chicken. And it was so good, Boris. It was so good. It was like and I took the big one, and my girlfriend was like, "You sure you eat that?" And we kind of like deleted the bucket. That was so good. Friedrich, danke fürs Kommen. Ich muss mal kurz zu Deutsch switchen. Vielen Dank fürs Kommen, danke, dass du da warst. Gerne wieder, sei gerne wieder dabei und hab einen schönen Abend. Reingehauen. I don't know why I don't feel hungry after workouts. Oh, that's normal. That's right after, but you maybe also realize that your blood sugar is kind of like going into the basement after a while. So kind of like have to balance that. As a Berlinian, Japan is the same. Oh, nice. Oh yeah, it's so cozy. Han River, just Google Han River. Or also the interesting thing in Korea, uh, they they have this huge dating culture, right? So it's not like here where you know what the intention is if you go on a date, right? But their dating is more like a afternoon activity you do. You just basically just meet up with new people which you met online, and they go on these dates and they go to these beautiful places, and it's so crazy because it feels like it's so normal to do that there. Not that I went on dates, obviously not, but there were a lot of kind of like people who had dates there. My date had no choice but to marry me. Oh jeez. Janusz, can I ask you a question? No. Yes, of course. Ask. Advice for you guys: don't eat pasta before working out. At the end, it's heavy on stomach. Yeah, that's true. I actually had a chance to study in South Korea, but then COVID hits, so it was canceled. I didn't know that. Ah, Boris! Fool! I took Janos mentorship, worst choice of my life. All right, Boris. You never know when it's enough, right? Didn't you want to have a call with me about your portfolio? Aye, 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 aye. You know, people read that and they probably believe you. They probably believe you. Have you met any cool people in Korea? Yes, tons of people, tons of cool people. Everyone was super nice and cool, and so yeah, so like so friendly. Like again, I'm from Berlin. Like people are not friendly. I mean, they are, but Berlin people know what I mean. Oh, lifting weights while fasting is actually good. I mean, it depends on what you want to do, right? If you want to just lose weight, then it's really good. If you want to gain muscles, debatable. But I think any type of activity is just good. Especially when we artists sit every day on our buttocks, right? Buttocks. Buttocks? No, I think I said something else. Never mind, never mind. Ignore me. I hope I don't get a YouTube strike. Actually cursed a lot today. Don't know why. But it's closely getting where I try to go. I wanted to ask, will I improve my skill if I copy tons of study sketches? Hmm. To be honest, that really depends on what makes you learn. Because there are people who did nothing else, just copy and doing studies, and they got really, really good. But I would say that majority of people do not get good by copying and study tons of stuff. Because there always needs to be an intention behind, and when it comes to like copy something, like painting something or drawing something, to it's always about to understand the subject, but this is only to a certain degree. The interesting question is, can you reproduce it without the reference? This is important. So I think the better case is you do your own projects, your own work, and if you run into a trouble or if you run into a wall, then you do a study to kind of like find a solution to your problem. This is really how it should be. Let me actually turn the light on. Wow, I'm yellow now. Yeah. So I think that's the thing. If you just blindly like copy and do and stuff, again, it always comes down to what type of person are you and how is it working for you. Like I know people who got really good like this, but I also know how people tried it and it didn't work for them. So I can't tell you 100%. You have to try it. I mean, you could do like, I don't know, a 10-day challenge where you just do a study every day and maybe also do it with an intention and then figure out what did it brought you? How good did you how good did you become, through doing that? And then you see if it's the right thing for you. Do you see a fantasy you around me? It's been losing my mind. But I totally get where your question is coming from, because it still get kind of like, I mean, it's like studying and doing copies is really a very common method of learning, and it get taught by so many institutions also. I mean, think about classical Russian academy style, for example. They do a lot of copies and studies and stuff, and people get really good with this. But the question is, how well does it help the people to really kind of like unfold their own creative potential? And then there we're back to drawing from imagination, for example. I think this is also why Kim Young-ji fascinated so many people, not only because of the outcome of what he did, but also the huge amount of like creative outcome he had. And this is only came because he really tried to use his imagination. Oh, text. Uh, Joking, of course. I hope you were joking, Boris. Everyone, please, Boris was joking. I wanted, I know, I read this one. Negative Berlin advertisement right here. You know, I mean, I love my city, I love my people, but I think we can't also be a pain in the butt. Yeah, I mean, Berlin is, I the more I travel, the more I work from somewhere else, I realize that in general, Germany is a great country in terms of like we do a lot of work and we produce a lot of goods and we do import export and we do a lot of good things. We also do things which are not that good, but it's kind of like going well. And if you need support from the government or if you need like social support, Germany is also very good because it has a lot of good, how you say, a very good umbrella system of helping people. But I feel the older I get, the more it feels like that we don't have such a good life balance and life quality here. Because we work a ton, but we actually do not work as much as other countries. But still, people are so frustrated, people are so annoyed, and they do 9 to 5 jobs. And it doesn't feel like we have a lot of life quality here, even though we can do things and we have things that other countries doesn't have. I don't know if it's a question of appreciation or if people just didn't found a good balance of that. But it just doesn't feel whole. I went to the Netherlands for a project a few weeks ago, and I was living there in Airbnb and I was working there and from there, and I was like doing kind of like research and stuff. And even though I know that the people in the Netherlands, they work much more technically than we Germans, and they have less vacation days, but they felt so much more balanced. And I don't know if it's the environment or if it's the way they treat their free time, but yeah, they just felt so much more relaxed and such just yeah, just more balanced. In Korea, for example, my friend Liam told me that Koreans work a lot. They really work a lot of hours. So all the free time is basically after work because they also work on the weekends a lot. This is also why they have this big drinking culture and this culture where they kind of like do everything after work, same as in Japan. So they kind of like balance it out, right? But I don't really know. It's really tough. I'm really questioning myself if I should stay in Germany. Yeah, weight training is good. Yeah, just paid you worse. I will stay in France, Janusz. Thanks. Yeah, stay in France. My sister lives in France. I mean, France is also not perfect, but it's also not bad, right? So we weren't that fast as I planned, but bit we got a bit of stuff done, I would say, which is good. So maybe next time we can continue with this. Actually, I also had another character planned to do today, but yeah, we were just too slow, I guess. This one here. Also line art. Wait, let me turn this off here. This boy had a bit of color. Same universe, but different direction. But also a big boy. But yeah, I only have one hand. Or I have two, but I can only draw one at once. So maybe we can do a bit of work on him next time. But yeah. So that's a big boy, right? Yeah, you have to support big boys. Support and push for the big boys. So if you like the stream, please give it a like the video, like the stream so more people click it. We will have more regular streams now since it's now getting colder, summertime is going over, so that will happen more often. And if you want to be part of the stream, just watch out for my Instagram story. And then also there is going to be the YouTube notification, but I will always do a story post if you want to join. It was a pleasure to have you all. I appreciate you all. And I wish you all a wonderful rest day, whatever the time is where you're at. And yeah, I will gonna get me some food now because I'm very, very hungry. Okay. And if you want to communicate more, feel free to communicate on the Discord. Yeah, and otherwise, there are still mentorship slots open for October. And I wish you all a wonderful rest day. I really need to get some food. I hope that was a cool stream. See you soon, and yeah, bye bye. See you soon, everyone, with more streams. Take care. Bye, Boris. Bye, Rido. Bye, Serena. Bye, Andre.